What is up, guys? Welcome to my trailer breakdown for The Flash Season 4, Episode 22, which is also the penultimate episode of the season, titled Think Fast. And Think Fast is honestly probably my favorite title of the season so far, one of, just because it really encapsulates what the season is about. Like, if the season had a title, it would probably be Think Fast. It's like the mixture between the Thinker, which is think, and the Flash, which is fast. So I really like this title, and it would be a perfect title for the season if the seasons had titles. But before we watch the trailer and before we break it down, make sure to follow me on Twitter. Link is in the description for better updates on my videos, as well as daily polls on the Hourverse. With that in mind, though, let's watch the trailer for The Flash Season 4, Episode 22, titled Think Fast.
We've got 12 hours until the enlightenment.
People will become curious again, and I will be there to teach them.
I can't do this by myself. Train us. Bring us into Flashtime with you. Is that lightning about to hit me?
You're not ready to use Flashtime.
What are you willing to do for the world?
We deserve to make the choice to be a hero.
And God said, let there be light.
The Flash, only this Tuesday at 8/7 Central on the CW.
So this episode is finally the episode where DeVoe unleashes his plan to enlighten the world, and when he says enlightened, he means make everyone stupid. But this is the episode where he accomplishes that. It seems like this whole thing where he's talking about enlightening the world, it will probably happen after he gets Fallout's powers. I don't really know why he would need Fallout's powers at this point. He has the machine. Maybe he needs Fallout's powers to power the machine. Maybe DeVoe was wrong about the fact that he didn't use the machine because Marlize wasn't there. Maybe it's just because he doesn't have Fallout's powers yet, and he needs it because he made every boss meta specifically for a reason, and every single power that he has used so far as I remember. I mean, he doesn't really use the luck power all that often, so I don't know why he would need that, but for some reason he made every single boss meta specifically powered to his needs. So he definitely needs Fallout's powers for something, but it's probably just to power the machine, the enlightenment machine. He probably needs to be powered by nuclear energy or something like that, and that's why he's going to use Fallout's powers. But this scene where he's saying that he's going to enlighten the world will probably happen after he gets Fallout's powers, because we see later in the trailer that he is probably just taking Fallout's powers when he says let there be light, when God said let there be light. So it's possible, and this is a theory I have, it's possible that DeVoe will actually succeed in the enlightenment, and that's not the actual theory. The theory is how the Flash deals with that. But the reason I think he might succeed is just because to make it more satisfactory for the Flash to defeat him at the end, and for the whole season just to build up to something, and for it to just not happen. Like, think about the best seasons of the Hourverse. Malcolm Merlin in season 1 successfully destroyed at least half the Glades. You have to make them like successful at least a little bit. Like, and then there's Deathstroke, who successfully like took over the city and almost destroyed it, really. And then Prometheus successfully blew up the island, although the season 6 really didn't make him successful at barely anything. But it was season 5. In season 5, he was successful in what he did, and then Reverse Flash was at least a little bit successful in changing things and making killing Eddie, creating the singularity. And you just have to make a villain at least a little bit successful just to make the buildup of the season satisfactory, and for the hero to come back at him and beat him even more satisfactory. The way that Barry will deal with this is probably that the enlightenment may not affect him because of his connection to the Speed Force. There are other things in continuity and in comics where the Speed Force just inexplicably protects him from things, and this might be one of those things. So maybe it won't affect him. Everyone becomes stupid, and the way he reverses this is through time travel. Now, this might be a spoiler, but there were set photos of, and I'll give you 3 seconds if you don't want to find out about the season finale, because it might be spoilers. So if you don't want to know, skip to this time slot. But there were set photos of Barry in the Flash costume, probably going back to episode 4 of the season where he met Ralph Dibny. Because the reason you think that is because, first of all, you see here Ralph Dibny, and there's only really 2 ways that can actually be Ralph. Like, the only 2 reasons or 3 reasons why he would be there. 1, it's DeVoe taunting Barry, or 2, it's Ralph is actually back for like maybe it's the end of the season, or 3, this is time travel. Now, the reason I'm leaning towards time travel is because of what Ralph is wearing. He's wearing the same exact thing he wore back in episode 4, I'm pretty sure. So it's possible that Barry will run back in time, go to episode 4 for some reason, either take out DeVoe there or save Ralph or stop Ralph from doing something, or maybe bring Ralph back to the future. I don't know how that would affect the continuity and the last 20 episodes of the season, 18 episodes of the season. I don't know how that would affect it, but I think that he will time travel back to episode 4, and something will happen with Ralph. Hopefully it leads to Ralph coming back to life, and it will lead to everyone going back to becoming smart again, and DeVoe losing, and it will probably also lead to who the main villain of season 5 is, which is speculated to be David Welsh, I think his name is. I don't really know what his alias is. He just has this lightning dagger, and I'm a little disappointed it's not Godspeed, but this probably the consequences of him going back in time have been really shown in this show, so that is probably what will lead to the Flash, to the villain in season 5. After I just said everything I just said about the time travel theory, I found something that might disprove it, and it's more set photos, so this is more spoilers. But it's more set photos, and it's actually from the same bunch. I actually recorded that before I looked back at the set photos. I just remembered vividly what it was, and I just forgot for some reason about this whole set of set photos of Ralph in his elongated man costume. This kind of disproves the theory that he will travel back in time. Maybe it happens later in the season, but it seems like they're on, or in the episode, but it seems like they're on the same set, so it's probably not. So it's the reason this disproves it is because he's in his elongated man costume, and that costume did not exist until episode, I think, like 10 or 11, so it's not possible for him to be in that costume back in episode 4, so that does kind of disprove that theory, but it makes me so much more happy, or happier, that's, you don't say more happy, because this kind of proves that either one, DeVoe really is going at it with the taunting, but it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. It seems like Ralph is actually back, and he's not dead, he came back. I don't think he's dead. I think his mind is still stuck in there, in his body, with DeVoe just taking it over instead of him, so I think that he will gain back control. DeVoe will go into somebody else's body, probably into another Clifford DeVoe looking body, and Ralph will be back, which I am definitely excited for, which I guess the time travel consequences will not lead to Cicada, which I remembered his alias. I'm kidding, I looked it up. But so maybe something else will lead to it. Maybe it won't. Maybe the season won't even hint at the next villain. Although the reason people speculated why it's Cicada is because of a rumored hint at the end of season 4 to it. So hopefully maybe that happens. I don't know, but I'm definitely excited for the fact that Dibny and Ralph Dibny, Elongated Man, is back 100%. I am definitely excited because if he does come back, I win a $20 bet. Also, he's one of my favorite characters. Something from this trailer that I'm both really excited for and a little skeptical on is Flashtime returning in this episode. The reason I'm excited for is because the concept of Flashtime and the way it was executed back in episode 15 was incredible. The way they did it was amazing, and it was very, like, I said this so many times, it was cinematic. So I am excited for it to return, and it kind of makes, like, every other episode that he doesn't use it, he kind of makes it stupid. So hopefully they explain in this episode why he doesn't use it so often. Maybe it's because the Speedster has a limited amount of times you can use it. Maybe either, I don't think that would make sense. I think it would make more sense if, like, he uses it once, he gets really drained of it for, like, what, 4 months. So I definitely think they should explain it, but I am both excited for it to come back just because it's pretty awesome, but I am also skeptical because it seems to be used in, like, a comedic manner in the trailer. Maybe it's just cut that way for some sort of effect, because, I mean, there are also some intense moments in this trailer of Barry and Cisco trying to use the Flashtime thing, but the thing is, in episode 15, when Cisco was in Flashtime, he was dying after a minute of being in there. He couldn't survive it because he doesn't have the speedster physiology to withstand Flashtime. Now it looks like they're training on that. It looks like they're working on that, but that doesn't sound right. It doesn't seem like they will succeed in training on Flashtime. So I am excited for it to come back. Hopefully he uses it more often. But I think in this episode it's not going to be executed nearly as well as it was in episode 15. If that's, I mean, I don't think it's even possible to execute it as well as episode 15, but I certainly don't think they are doing it justice in this episode. I mean, I haven't seen the episode, obviously, but off the trailer, it seems they're using it in a comedic way, and it doesn't seem like they're taking it all too seriously in this episode, but hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully he does use it seriously, and somehow, some way, DeVoe thinks of a way to get out of Flashtime. Maybe one of the bus metas has the power to stop bus time. I mean, not bus time. Wow, I just said bus meta, but Flashtime. Maybe, I don't know. But I am both, like I said, both excited for Flashtime to return and a little skeptical. So there's an aspect of this episode that isn't really encompassed in the trailer, which is fine just because the synopsis is very large. It's a bigger than normal synopsis, so it's fine that the trailer doesn't show everything, but the synopsis does reveal more of the plot and the promotional photos. First of all, the promotional photos reveal, and they don't really reveal, but they show, because it was revealed a while back that Diggle will be in this episode. The reason he will be in this episode is probably some sort of connection to Argus, because we saw in Arrow a couple episodes ago he joined Argus and seemingly still works with them. So the reason he's in this episode is because Argus has a big part to play in the episode, and we will see that from the synopsis, which reads, when DeVoe assaults an Argus facility to complete his enlightenment machine, Barry realizes that the only way he can stop him is if he allows Cisco and Caitlin to accompany him into the facility. Still shaken by Ralph's death, Barry isn't sure he wants to risk any more of his friends' lives and considers taking on DeVoe solo. So first of all, we see that DeVoe is actually getting Fallout's powers to complete his enlightenment machine, because the reason he's assaulting this Argus facility is in order to get Fallout. That's for sure his powers. So he needs Fallout to complete his enlightenment machine, which makes me think that the side plot with Harry in the last episode was even more pointless, just because it's not, he was wrong. It's not the reason DeVoe isn't completing his enlightenment machine is not because Marlize isn't there, but it's because he hasn't completed it yet. He probably doesn't have a sufficient power source. But then it says that Barry realizes the only way he can stop him is if he allows Cisco, Caitlin to accompany him to the facility, which is what the trailer is all about with Flashtime. And then, like, by far the most interesting part of the episode, at least going off the synopsis, is where Barry is still shaken by Ralph's death. Now, the reason that this is really interesting to me is because, well, this isn't why it's interesting, but first of all, this wasn't showcased in the trailer at all, and it wasn't showcased at all in the last episode or in episode 20. It wasn't episode 18, obviously, because that's when Ralph died, and then episode 19, which is all about the repercussions of that. But episode 20 and 21, there was none of it, and the fact, I think, the reason I think that he is shaken in this episode and on the next episode, or not in the last episode or the episode before that, is because DeVoe is in this episode, and he has shape-shifting abilities, and I bet he will taunt Barry, and this time he'll take it to another level by turning into Ralph. Now, Barry doesn't have a good history with dead, not really like loved ones, because Ralph wasn't a loved one, but dead friends or family coming back with a different person with the same face. Specifically in season 2 with his father being the doppelganger of Jay Garrick, and we saw Jay Garrick, and that threw him into a huge loop where he ran back in time and saved his mother, which was the whole cause of Flashpoint. So it seems like when he sees the face of somebody he cared about who died come back, or by a different person, it really throws him into a loop, because I think that he will probably time travel in this episode to save Ralph. So I think that might be like doing the same exact thing they did in season 2, but a little different. But that's why that part is really interesting to me, because he wasn't really shaken by Ralph's death in the last 2 episodes. But this episode, the fact that he will be shaken by Ralph's death might actually be the cause of him going time traveling back in time, as well as the fact that DeVoe will probably succeed in his enlightenment. So anyway, let me know if you're excited for this episode in the comments down below. I know a lot of people are a little burnt out on the Flash season 4. I'm honestly pretty excited for how it ends if Ralph comes back to life, because I really want him to. But last episode wasn't very good, so it did get me less excited for this episode. But hopefully, just going off of what it's giving us, I am still very excited for this episode. I mean, there's the enlightenment, there's Flashtime, there's the possibility of Barry running back in time. There's also him being shaken by Ralph's death, which is something that was done really well in episode 19. So I am pretty excited for this episode. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And thanks for watching.